This is you. You're 16 years old when you see the video that's going to change your life. It's not on the news. It's in a WhatsApp group that someone shared at your school. 5 men kneeling with their hands tied. Behind them, 5 others wearing black ski masks and tactical vests bearing 4 letters that all of Mexico knows. CJNG, Jalisco New Generation Cartel. The video lasts 3 minutes and 40 seconds. You don't finish watching it. You can't. But that night you can't sleep, thinking about something you can't explain. It's not the fear that keeps you up. It's the question nobody asks out loud. How did those 5 men on their knees end up there? And worse still, how did the other 5 end up standing behind them with the power to decide who lives and who doesn't? That question is going to haunt you. Because in 8 months you're going to have the answer. You're going to be inside. And you're going to discover that the distance between those on their knees and those standing is shorter than anyone imagines. Let's rewind 6 months before the video. You live in Tlaquepaque, Jalisco. CJNG territory, ever since El Mencho decided that Guadalajara and everything around it belongs to him. Your neighborhood is called Las Juntas. Unpaved streets, skinny dogs sleeping on the corners, little shops with rusted metal shutters. Your dad used to work at a furniture store until it closed 2 years ago. Now he hauls loads with a borrowed truck that breaks down every 3rd trip. He earns money when there's work. Lately, there's no work. Your mom crosses the city every day to clean houses in Zapopan, in the neighborhoods where people have pools and purebred dogs. She makes 4,000 pesos a month. Their rent costs 3,200. Your little brother is 13, and the other day he came home crying because kids at school made fun of his torn-up shoes. Your sister's 10 and still believes things are going to get better. You stopped believing a long time ago. One day you're standing on the corner of your street doing nothing because there's nothing to do, when a black truck with tinted windows pulls up. A guy you recognize by sight gets out. They call him El Tigre. He's 24, gold chains, a gun that everybody knows he carries even though he never shows it. El Tigre works for the CJNG. Everybody knows it. Nobody says it. He looks at you, nods like he's known you his whole life, asks you how the family's doing. You tell him they're getting by. He asks if you want to make easy money. You tell him it depends. He laughs, says he likes your answer. He hands you a phone number written on a folded piece of paper. Says to call him if you make up your mind. That the Jalisco New Generation Cartel always has room for loyal people. He gets back in his truck and drives off. That night you stare at the piece of paper for 3 hours. You hide it under your mattress. A week later you pull it out. You dial the number. Your life just ended. Or it just began. In this business it's hard to tell the difference. CJNG lookout. Salary between 8,000 and 14,000 pesos a month. Average age 12 to 18. Life expectancy in the position 8 months. The CJNG has the largest lookout network in the country. Thousands of eyes on every corner. Every highway, every town in Jalisco, Colima, Michoacán, Guanajuato, Veracruz. Wherever there's a CJNG territory, there are lookouts watching. You're one of them now. Your zone is the southern entrance to Tlaquepaque. They position you near a pedestrian bridge. They give you a cell phone with 3 numbers saved. Each number has a color code. Green for all clear. Yellow for suspicious movement. Red for authorities. They tell you the CJNG rewards loyalty and punishes betrayal. They tell you if you do your job right, you'll move up. They tell you if you mess up once, they'll give you another chance. If you mess up twice, there's no third. The first week you send green every hour. You collect 2,000 pesos. It's more than your dad made that month. You tell your mom you got a job at a mechanic's shop. She hugs you with tears in her eyes, Says she's proud. You feel something in your chest you can't identify. Shame mixed with something worse. The second week, you meet the other lookouts in the area. One is named Brian. He's 14, supporting his mom who has lupus and can't work. Another is Kevin, 15. His dad is locked up in Puente Grande for a crime he says he didn't commit. The three of you hang out at night smoking cigarettes behind an abandoned construction site. You talk about money, about motorcycles you want to buy, about girls you like. You never talk about who you work for. The name CJNG is never said out loud. You feel it, like the air before a storm. In your third month, and the thing that strips away whatever innocence you had left happens. It's Thursday, 6 in the evening. The sun is going down. You see a gray truck approaching slowly with Guanajuato plates. In your zone, there are only Jalisco plates. You send yellow. You wait. The truck parks. Nobody gets out. 5 minutes pass. 10. 15. You send yellow again. Suddenly, 2 black trucks arrive from the other direction. 8 guys jump out wearing vests that say CJNG. They surround the gray truck, shouting, struggling. 3 people get out of the gray truck with their hands up. They throw them to the ground. Load them into one of the black trucks. The whole thing lasts less than 3 minutes. The trucks disappear. The street is empty like nothing happened. You're still standing on the pedestrian bridge. Your heart is pounding so hard you feel it in your throat. That night, you find out the 3 from the gray truck were lookouts for the Santa Rosa de Lima cartel. CJNG enemies. They were trying to map the area. Thanks to your alert, they were detected in time. They congratulate you. They give you a 3,000 peso bonus. That night, you dream about the 3 faces you saw thrown on the asphalt. By the next day, you can't remember their features anymore. Only the fear in their eyes. That you never forget. You've been a lookout for 7 months when El Tigre comes looking for you again. He says the CJNG is happy with your work. That you proved your loyalty. That it's time to move up. He offers you a position as a stake. The term sounds weird until he explains it. Stakes are the next level. You're not just watching anymore. Now you ride along. You ride along with the guys who do the heavy jobs. You still don't shoot, but you're there when others do. Salary of 20,000 pesos a month, plus bonuses, plus risk, plus everything. You say yes. At this point, saying no means saying you're no longer useful. And those who are no longer useful to the CJNG don't quit. They simply stop existing. CJNG stake. Salary between 18,000 and 25,000 pesos a month. Average age 16 to 22. Survival rate after 1 year, 54%. Your first day as a stake, they put you in a truck with 4 other guys. They're all wearing ski masks, tactical vests, the uniform you've seen in dozens of videos. Now you're wearing it too. The 4 letters on your chest weigh more than any bulletproof vest. CJNG. They tell you today they're going to deliver a message. You don't ask what that means. They arrive at a house in Tonalá. 3 guys get out, go in, screaming, a sound you recognize from the video you saw months ago. They come out, get in, drive away. You stayed outside watching the truck. You didn't see anything, but you heard everything. That night you throw up 3 times. The following week you don't throw up anymore. You got used to it. That's the real horror, that the horror becomes routine. In your 4th month as a stake, you meet the cell leader of your zone. They call him Comandante Durango. He's 32, quiet voice, eyes that never blink. They say he's been with the CJNG for 15 years, since before it was called CJNG, when it was still part of the Milenio cartel, when Nacho Coronel was still in charge, and before El Mencho took over everything and turned it into the most powerful cartel in Mexico. Comandante Durango stares at you for a full minute without saying a word. Then he nods. Says you have the face of a soldier. You don't know if that's a compliment or a sentence. Probably both. Your job becomes routine. You ride along on operations. You watch perimeters. You guard trucks. Sometimes you carry things from one point to another, things that weigh too much to be normal merchandise. You don't ask. You never ask. In the CJNG, questions are dangerous. Answers are worse. One day, you arrive at a ranch on the outskirts of Tala. 8 trucks are parked there, all with the letters CJNG painted on the doors. It's a training camp. You watch 30 kids your age running in formation, doing push-ups, practicing shooting. It looks like the Army. Because it is an army. The CJNG has more trained soldiers than many armed forces of small countries. They have bazookas. They have drones. They have makeshift helicopters. They have the money to buy whatever they want and the will to use it. That night you sleep at the camp. You hear gunshots in the distance. Nobody flinches. It's just practice, or it isn't. Out here, you never know. You've been a stake for 11 months when the thing that turns you into something else happens. It's Tuesday, 2 in the morning. Your cell gets the order to go to a town called Teocaltique. Sinaloa cartel rivals tried to move product through CJNG territory. A response is required. 6 trucks arrive. 42 people. It looks like a military operation. Because it is. They surround a house. They go in. You go in with them. It's the first time you're inside when things happen. They don't give you time to think. They put a gun in your hands. You don't use it. But you hold it. And when you walk out of that house, you're part of something there's no coming back from. Outside, there are 7 bodies. Inside, there is silence. Inside you, something has gone dark forever. CJNG Hitman. Salary between 40,000 and 90,000 pesos a month, plus bonuses per job. Average age 18 to 30. Average life expectancy 14 months. You don't ride along anymore. Now you execute. Your first solo job comes 3 weeks after Teocaltique. The target is a 50-year-old man who owns a chicken restaurant in Lagos de Moreno. They tell you he owes money. They tell you he was given 3 chances. They tell you there's no fourth. They don't tell you how much he owes or to whom. It doesn't matter. The CJNG doesn't negotiate after the 3rd warning. You arrive at 7 in the evening as he's closing up. He sees you and instantly knows what's coming. He doesn't run. He doesn't scream. He just says to let his wife know he loves her. 3 seconds later, he can't say anything. You get on the motorcycle. 12 blocks later, you change clothes. An hour later, you're having dinner at home with your family. Your brother tells you he did well on a test. Your mom serves you noodle soup. Nobody knows what you did. Nobody can know. You eat in silence. The soup tastes like ash. Everything is going to taste like ash from now on. The 3rd job is a state investigator who refused to cooperate with the CJNG. The 5th is a lookout who sold information to the rivals. The 8th is someone who looks like your dad. Same age, same mustache, same tired way of walking. After the 8th, you stop seeing faces. You only see targets, packages, deliveries. The CJNG pays you on time every 2 weeks. They give you bonuses when jobs go clean. They give you a new phone every month. They give you protection as long as you're useful. The key word is as long as, because in the CJNG nobody is permanent. Everyone is replaceable, from the 14-year-old lookout to the plaza boss. The only difference is the cost of the replacement. At 19 months, they promote you to cell leader, responsible for 12 hitmen under your command. Salary between 120,000 and 200,000 pesos a month. Annual mortality rate, 46%. You're 19 years old. You run a team that has eliminated more than 80 people in the last 6 months. Your zone is Ocotlan, Jalisco, hot territory because it borders Sinaloa cartel zones. Every week there are clashes. Every week you lose people. Every week more kids show up to replace the ones who fell. The line never ends. Comandante Durango tells you the CJNG values your work, that El Mencho himself knows who you are, that if you keep it up, you're going to go far. You don't know if going far means more money or better odds of ending up in a mass grave. Probably both. Your mom now lives in a house without leaks. Your brother wears brand-name sneakers. Your sister has her own computer for homework. Your dad stopped hauling loads. He has a grocery store that you bought him. Nobody asks where the money came from. Nobody can ask. See, in the neighborhoods where the CJNG operates, questions are as dangerous as answers. One day, your little brother, 13, asks you if what they say at school is true, that you work for the bad guys. You tell him you work in private security. You're not entirely lying. You just leave out who the security is for, and against whom. You've been in the CJNG for 24 months when they offer you the next level. Plaza boss, responsible for an entire territory. 200 hitmen, 500 lookouts, 80 stakes, 30 drug mules, 15 safe houses, a salary between 300,000 and 500,000 pesos a month plus percentages. Average age 28 to 45. Life expectancy 19 months. You're 20 years old. You're the youngest plaza boss in the CJNG's recent history. That means they trust you. And it also means you're expendable if you fail. Young guys are easy to replace. Old ones cost more. Your territory is the entire Tequila Magdalena corridor, tourist zone, strategic zone, a lot of protection money from tequila distilleries, a lot of product moving toward the coast. Your orders come directly from a level I can't name here. They tell you the CJNG expects 60 million pesos a month from your territory. They tell you to keep everything quiet, no shootouts that draw attention, no bodies that end up on the news. They tell you the cops are already in line. You just have to maintain the relationship and deliver on time. Always on time. Delays in the CJNG are paid for in blood. The first month you deliver 68 million. Everything flows. The second month, a Sinaloa cartel group tries to move into your territory. They kill 4 of your lookouts on a Monday, burn 2 trucks on a Wednesday. On Friday, banners appear with threats signed by the CDS. You have to respond or look weak. In the CJNG, looking weak is the same as asking to be replaced. You send 40 of your hitmen. 27 come back. The other 13 are in black bags in enemy territory. The war lasts 6 weeks. You spend 8 million on weapons. You lose 40% of your personnel. That month you only deliver 42 million. You get a call. It's not your usual contact. It's someone higher up, much higher up. The voice is calm, polite. That's worse than yelling. He tells you the CJNG understands there were problems, that they're giving you 30 days to fix things, that if you don't fix them, they'll fix them for you. He doesn't specify what that means. He doesn't need to. You hang up. Your hands tremble for the first time in 2 years. You negotiate with the rivals. You give up part of the territory. You publicly execute 2 of your own hitmen who failed in an operation. Their names were El Chino and El Durango Chico. One had a pregnant wife. The other was supporting his grandparents. You knew them. You'd eaten with them. Now they're in unmarked graves because the CJNG needed a message of internal discipline. You get production back up. You deliver 55 million the following month. It's not enough, but it's something. You survived 1 more month. In this business, that's a victory. You're 22 years old. You've watched hundreds of people go down. You've ordered things I can't say here. You sleep in a different house every night. You switch phones every week. You travel with 12 bodyguards. One of them goes by El Güero, ex-military, loyal to the CJNG for 8 years. Another is El Michoacano, 29, has El Mencho's face tattooed on his arm. They're the only ones you trust, relatively, because in the CJNG, absolute trust is a luxury nobody can afford. Your family doesn't live in Tlaquepaque anymore. You moved them to a city I'm not going to mention. You told them it's for work. You didn't tell them it's because your name has a price on it now, that there are people who would pay a lot to know where your loved ones sleep. Your brother is 18. The other day he asked you to get him into the business. You told him no. You screamed no at him. You almost hit him. Because the idea of him ending up where you are turns your stomach more than anything you've ever done. Here's what nobody tells you when you join the CJNG. It doesn't matter how high you climb. It doesn't matter if you make it to regional coordinator, state plaza, direct operator for El Mencho. Everyone ends up the same way, in a maximum security cell with no windows, in an unmarked mass grave, in a WhatsApp video that some 16-year-old kid is going to watch without being able to finish. The CJNG ladder has a lot of rungs, but they all lead to the same place. There's no sky at the top, just more ways to fall. You're 22 years old. You've made more money than your dad saw in his entire life. You've bought houses, trucks, things you used to only see in movies. And you can't sleep more than 2 hours without waking up thinking someone is coming for you. You can't eat without someone tasting your food first. You can't hug your mom without checking that nobody followed you. Oh, that's the CJNG. That's any cartel. The price of entry is your innocence. The price of staying is your soul. The price of getting out is one nobody can pay. If you made it this far, subscribe, because the next story is going to show you the other side of this coin, and I promise you're not ready for what's coming.